It's just past 2 in the morning. The city's quiet, the roads are empty, and if you're still awake with me right now, you probably already know why this hour feels different. Things said at this time don't sound the same in daylight. Tonight's lines have been full, but there's one caller who's been waiting longer than the rest. They told my producer they didn't want advice. They didn't want answers. They just wanted to explain why they finally decided to call tonight. All right, I'm told they're still on the line. Let's bring them through.
Hello?
You're on. Take your time. What name would you like us to use?
You can call me Daniel. That's not my real name. I don't want this tied back to me.
That's fine, Daniel. You've been waiting a while. What made you decide to call tonight?
I almost didn't. I've had your show playing in the background for years, honestly. Mostly as noise, something to fall asleep to. But tonight, something happened in my apartment. Not something new, something familiar. And I realized I've spent most of my life pretending it never happened, hoping it would stay buried if I didn't give it a name. I'm calling because I think if I don't say it out loud now, I never will.
All right, you're safe here. What country are you calling from?
The U.S. I live in Oregon now. But this story, it didn't happen here. It happened when I was a kid, in Michigan.
Okay, start wherever you feel you need to.
Before I tell you what happened, I think it matters who I was back then. Because if you'd known me, you wouldn't expect me to be the kind of person who'd make this up. I was 9 years old, quiet kid, not imaginative in the way people think. I liked rules, liked knowing where things went. I lined my toys up. I read encyclopedias for fun. My parents joked that I was born 40. I didn't believe in monsters. I didn't believe in ghosts. We lived in a small town outside Grand Rapids, the kind of place where nothing ever really happens, and that's the point. My dad worked nights at a paper mill. My mom worked mornings at a bakery. That meant most nights it was just me and my younger sister in the house after sunset. Our house wasn't old by American standards, built in the late 80s, 2 stories, basement, white siding. Nothing creaky, nothing charming, the kind of house realtors describe as solid. And that mattered to me, because when people hear stories like this, they imagine peeling wallpaper, candlelight, something cinematic. But there was nothing like that. It was normal. Too normal. The thing I'm talking about, it started as something small. So small that even now, part of me wants to dismiss it as coincidence.
Go on.
My sister Emily was 6. She was the opposite of me. Big imagination, talked to her toys, named everything. I shared a room with her because the 3rd bedroom was my dad's office. Every night, before bed, my mom would kneel down and say the same thing. Nothing can hurt you here. She said it like a rule, like gravity. And for a while, that was true. Then Emily started asking for the closet light to stay on. At first, it was normal kid stuff, afraid of the dark, afraid of shadows. My mom would crack the door open, leave the hallway light on, tell her there was nothing there. But then Emily started getting specific. She didn't say, "I'm scared." She said, "He doesn't like the dark."
Who's he?
That's what my mom asked, Emily shrugged. Said, the tall one. At the time, I rolled my eyes. I was 9. I thought I was smarter than that. I told her to stop trying to scare herself. But then things started happening that I couldn't explain away so easily. I'd wake up at night, not from a nightmare, not from a noise, but from that feeling you get when someone is looking at you. The room would be silent, no footsteps, no breathing, just awareness. I'd stare at the ceiling, waiting for it to pass. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. And when it didn't, I'd hear the closet door. Not opening, not closing, just pressure. Like someone leaning against it from the inside.
You're saying from inside the closet?
Yeah, and I know how that sounds, but I checked. Over and over. I opened it during the day. At night, I emptied it out. There was nothing in there that could shift or fall. But the sound kept happening.
Emily stopped sleeping. She'd sit up in bed, eyes open, staring at the closet, whispering. I asked her once what she was saying. She told me she was telling him not to come out yet.
Did you tell your parents?
I did. My mom said Emily was having night terrors, and that I was feeding into it by paying attention. My dad laughed, said if there was a boogeyman, he'd scare it off. And that word, boogeyman, that's when things changed. Because Emily didn't like that word. She got upset, started crying, said that wasn't his name. She said, "That's what he wants you to call him."
What did she say his name was?
She said he didn't have one, not like ours. She said names were how you tell things where you can go. I didn't understand what that meant then. I still don't fully. The first time I saw him, it wasn't dramatic. That's the part that still bothers me the most. I woke up one night and the room felt wrong. Not dark, just heavy, like the air had weight. The closet door was open, and something was standing inside it. Not fully out, just leaning forward, like it was curious. It was tall, too tall to fit properly. Its head was bent at an angle that made my neck ache just looking at it. I couldn't see a face, not because it was dark, because there was nothing there to see. No features, just an absence where a face should be. And it was smiling.
How could you tell if there was no face?
Because I knew. That's the only way I can explain it. The way you know when someone's smiling at you, even before you look up. I didn't scream. I didn't move. I just stared. And after a few seconds, it leaned back into the closet. Slowly, politely, like it hadn't meant to be seen. The door closed on its own. Emily whispered, "See? He listens." That was the moment I stopped pretending. From then on, it wasn't just at night. I'd hear the closet door when the sun was up. I'd catch reflections that didn't line up. I'd feel fingers brush past me in narrow hallways. Emily started setting rules for him. She said he couldn't come out if the door was closed. He couldn't touch us if we were awake. He couldn't cross the line where the carpet met the tile. And for a while, it followed them.
You're saying she was controlling it?
I think she was negotiating. The problem is, kids grow up, and rules change when people stop believing in them. I started sleeping with the light on. Emily didn't. She said he liked it better when I pretended he wasn't there. Then one night, she didn't wake up. Not like that. She was breathing, but she wouldn't respond. Her eyes were open, staring at the closet. The door was open, and the space inside it looked deeper, longer, like it went somewhere else. I remember screaming for my parents. I remember my dad pulling Emily out of bed. I remember my mom slamming the closet door so hard the frame cracked. Emily woke up the next morning like nothing happened. She never mentioned him again. We moved 6 months later.
Daniel, did you ever see it again?
Not for years. That's why I convinced myself it was stress, imagination, a shared delusion. I grew up, went to college, got a job, lived in apartments with no closets at all. Then tonight, I moved into a new place last month. Old building, built in the 40s. Small bedroom, one narrow closet. I keep it closed, always have. Tonight, while your show was playing, I heard pressure against the door. Not opening, not closing, just someone waiting. And from the other side, I heard a familiar voice. Emily's voice. She said, "He remembers you."
Are you alone right now?
No. He's being polite. That's why I called. Because I think names only work if someone else hears them. Thank you for listening.
All right, that was unexpected. If you're listening at home, make sure your doors are closed. I'll be here a little longer. Good night.